Record.
How was your day?
And today I went to school and I played. I had learned about enzyme social and I got class test today.
A what test?
I got class test on grammar.
Oh,
In English means Indian's language, Telugu, and what's it? Moral science.
nice. Oh, you had a busy day then. So it stopped raining so you could play outside?
Yes.
Good. Well, that makes days better. Okay, well, it's my turn to read, right? Okay, remember the word that I told you to think about last time? Do you remember it? I had you write it down. But
I wrote it another notes, I think. Because I'm continuing one notes, these notes.
okay.
I searched a lot before some time. I searched all the whole book, but there's none of the words I see. There's I got it. Chapter it. It is I can't. This one. This is the one that is spelling. And
Can you say that word?
Shakpa or something.
Babushka. 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 The name of the book is Thunder Cake. So while I'm reading, I want you to find or listen for some clues about what a babushka is. Okay? All right, here we go. Thunder Cake by Patricia Polacco. Thunder Cake by Patricia Polacco. Excuse me. On sultry summer days at my grandma's farm in Michigan, the air gets damp and heavy. Storm clouds drift low over the fields. Birds fly close to the ground. The clouds glow for an instant with a sharp, crackling light, and then a roaring, low, tumbling sound of thunder makes the window shudder in their panes. The sound used to scare me when I was little. I loved to go to Grandma's house. Babushka, as I used to call my grandma, had come from Russia years before. But I feared Michigan's summer storms. So there was a clue. What's a babushka?
Babushka is any of the animal in the story.
No. Listen to this again. I love to go to Grandma's house. Babushka, as I used to call my grandma.
The girls call her Grandma Babushka.
Yeah. Yes, that's the Russian name for grandma. Grandma, babushka. Okay. I feared the sound of thunder more than anything. I always hid under the bed when the storm moved near the farmhouse. This is the story of how my grandma, my babushka, helped me overcome my fear of thunderstorms. There's lots of pictures.
Yes. Grandma
So there's
the hands.
There's Grandma. She's looking off at the sky, wondering if there's a storm coming with thunder and lightning. Okay. Grandma looked at the horizon, drew a deep breath, and said, "This is thunder cake baking weather, all right." Looks like a storm coming to me. So there's Grandma looking off into the horizon. See the storm clouds coming?
Yes.
Okay, do you know what the horizon is?
Means May is going to the sun is going down.
Well, the horizon is where the sky meets the land. You know, when you look out across the...
I know that all the clouds come in the forest, and when some people went to tour in the forest, they can't see anything. The clouds will be down.
Well, yes, but a horizon is where the sky meets the land. When you look off into the distance and you see the sky start going up in the land, where the sky and the land meet, that's the horizon. All right. Child, you come out from under that bed. It's only thunder you're hearing, my grandma said. Somebody's hiding under the bed.
Yes.
She's scared. Grandma says, you come out from under that bed. It's only thunder. The air was hot, heavy, and damp. A loud clap of thunder shook the house, rattled the windows, and made me grab her close. Steady, child, she cooed. Unless you let go of me, we won't be able to make a thunder cake today. Thunder cake? I stammered as I hugged her even closer. Don't pay attention to that old thunder, except to see how close the storm is getting. When you see the lightning, start counting real slow. When you hear the thunder, stop counting. That number is how many miles away the storm is. Understand? We need to know how far away the storm is so we have time to make the cake and get it into the oven before the storm comes, or it won't be real thunder cake. So there's Grandma cuddling her granddaughter, telling her not to be afraid. There's the kitty on the floor. Her eyes surveyed the black clouds away off in the distance. Then she strode into the kitchen. Her worn hands pulled a thick book from the shelf above the wood stove. Let's find that recipe, child, she crowed as she lovingly fingered the grease-stained pages to a greased spot. Here it is, thunder cake. She carefully penned the ingredients on a piece of notepaper. Now, let's gather all the things we need, she exclaimed as she scurried toward the back door. So Grandma found the recipe for thunder cake, and she started writing down all the things she would need on a piece of paper. We were by the barn when a huge bolt of lightning flashed. I started counting like Grandma told me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the thunder roared. 10 miles. It's 10 miles away, Grandma said as she looked at the sky. About an hour away, I'd say. You'll have to hurry, child. Gather them eggs, careful like, she said. Eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhen. Nellie Peckhen. I was scared. I knew she would try to peck me. I'm here. She won't hurt you. Just get them eggs, Grandma said softly. The lightning flashed again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I counted. 9 miles, Grandma reminded me. So there she is gathering the eggs from Nellie the peck hen. Do you know what it means to be for the hen to peck?
They're gathering eggs from the hands.
Yeah. So the chicken's gonna go like peck, peck, peck with their beak. Peck, peck. So she was afraid to get the eggs because she was afraid the hen would peck her hand. P-E-C-K.
I saw in one video when man's trying to take eggs from the hand, he take one thread and he put one cardboard like this and he's taking, but the hen is packing the cardboard.
Yeah, that's a good way to go gather eggs, isn't it? All right. Well, we have the eggs. Milk was next. Milk from old Kick Cow. Grandma milked her. Kick Cow turned and looked mean right at me. I was scared. She looked so big. Zip went the lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I counted. Baroom went the thunder. 8 miles, child, Grandma croaked. Now we have to get chocolate and sugar and flour from the dry shed. There's Grandma milking the kick cow. Why do you think they would call the cow Kick Cow?
Because it's kicking them.
Yeah, because it tries to kick them. Have you ever milked a cow?
No.
No.
In our old ages, they'll do.
Yeah.
Milk.
Oh. Well, I was scared as we walked down the path from the farmhouse through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. Suddenly, the lightning slit the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I counted. Boom, ba-boom, crashed the thunder. It scared me a lot, but I kept walking with Grandma. There they are walking down to the dry shed where the dry ingredients are kept, the flour and the chocolate and the other dry ingredients for the cake. You can see the clouds are getting closer. Another jagged edge of lightning flashed as I crept into the dry shed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I counted. Crackle, crackle, boom, kaboom. The thunder bellowed. It was dark and I was scared. I'm here, child, Grandma said softly from the doorway. Hurry now, we haven't got much time. We've got everything but the secret ingredient. So it's getting dark and they're in the shed getting the dry ingredients. And then there's a secret ingredient. A secret ingredient. Now let's see. 3 overripe tomatoes and some strawberries, Grandma whispers as she squinted at the list. I climbed up high on the trellis. The ground looked a long way down. I was scared. I'm here, child, she said. Her voice was steady and soft. You won't fall. I reached 3 luscious tomatoes while she picked strawberries. Lightning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I counted. Kabang! Boom, maroon, the thunder growled. So do you see her climbing? She's climbing up that white thing with squares. that's called
Ladder.
that's called a trellis.
And
Trellis.
it's single we can call ladders.
Yeah, well, a trellis is smaller pieces than a ladder. It's used for plants to climb on. So you see it's right beside the tomatoes, so the tomatoes can climb up on the trellis and keep them off the ground. So grandma's picking strawberries, and the little girl is picking some tomatoes. Tomatoes and strawberries in a cake? I don't know.
It's tables and cake. It's tables and sweet cake.
Everything sounds okay to me except tomatoes. I don't know about tomatoes in a cake. We hurried back to the house and the warm kitchen, and we measured the ingredients. I poured them into the mixing bowl while Grandma mixed. I churned butter for the frosting and melted chocolate. Finally, we poured the batter into the cake pans and put them into the oven together. Lightning lit the kitchen. I only counted to 3, and the thunder rumbled and crashed. 3 miles away, Grandma said, and the cake is in the oven. We made it. We'll have thunder cake. There she is mixing up the ingredients for thunder cake.
Thunder cake is enjoying the thunder and eating the cake.
Yeah, you have to make it while it's thundering to be called thunder cake. As we waited for the cake, Grandma looked out the window for a long time. Why aren't you afraid of thunder? You're too brave, she said, as she looked right at me. No, I read that wrong. Let me read it again. Why you aren't afraid of thunder? You too brave, she said as she looked right at me. I'm not brave, Grandma, I said. I was under the bed, remember? But you got out from under it, she answered. And you got eggs from mean old Nellie Peck Hen. You got milk from old Kick Cow. You went through Tangleweed Woods to the dry shed. You climbed the trellis in the backyard. From where I sit, only a brave person could have done all them things. So Grandma's talking to the little girl about she really did do some brave things. She got out from under the bed. She went out, got the eggs and the milk, and walked through Tangleweed Wood to get the dry ingredients. I thought and thought as the storm rumbled closer. She was right. I was brave. Brave people can't be afraid of a sound, child, she said as we spread out the tablecloth and set the table. When we were done, we hurried into the kitchen to take the cake out of the oven. After the cake had cooled, we frosted it. So there's Grandma and the girl just talking about how brave she was Just then the lightning flashed, and this time it lit the whole sky. Even before the last flash had faded, the thunder rolled, boomed, crashed, and boomed just about us. The storm was here. Perfect, Grandma cooed, just perfect. She beamed as she added the last strawberry to the glistening chocolate frosting on top of thunder cake.
And why does she need the tomatoes?
I don't know. It doesn't say. They didn't talk about the tomatoes, did they? Except that they needed 3. I guess she put tomatoes in the cake. As rain poured down on the roof, Grandma cut a wedge for each of us. She poured us steaming cups of tea from the samovar. When the thunder roared above so hard it shook the windows and rattled the dishes in the cupboards, we just smiled and ate our thunder cake. From that time on, I never feared the voice of thunder again.
They're eating.
So they're eating while the storm is raging outside.
Yes, I can see the star.
So that really helped her. That really helped her. All right, let me see. Here's the recipe. Do you see tomatoes in there anywhere?
Tomatoes, a cup of water, a cup of food. Yeah, a cup of pure tomatoes.
That just
They put the tomato puree in the cake.
1/3 cup of pureed tomatoes. Wow, I've never heard of putting tomatoes in a cake. So they needed 1 cup of shortening, which is the butter, 1 3/4 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 3 eggs separated. Blend the yolks in and then beat the whites until they are stiff and then fold them in. 1 cup of cold water, 1/3 cup pureed tomatoes, sift together 2.5 cups of cake flour, 1/2 cup dry cocoa, 1 1/2 teaspoons baking soda, 1 teaspoon salt. Mix the dry mixture into the creamy mixture. Bake in 2 greased and floured 8.5-inch round pans at 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. Frost with cake butter frosting, chocolate butter frosting, top with strawberries. That's the recipe.
You can also try it. You can try.
That's the story of Thunder Cake. Now, Grant, it said there was another word I want to talk about. It was samovar. Let's write this word down. SAMOVAR. Samovar. Well, samovar is a kitchen pot, and that's a Russian word for a teapot. They don't show a picture of it, but they were having tea. So the samovar is the container where they made.
I saw that summer was there. Can you turn the page of it?
Is it?
Yeah, I saw one.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So it's a pot for making tea. samovar. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Good job. You noticed it. The samovar. Okay. So let's talk about a few of the words that we came across in our reading. And all of these measurements are English measurements, so they probably didn't make any sense to you because you don't measure things by the cup or by the teaspoon, right? When you make things, do you use cups and teaspoons or tablespoons?
Sometimes we use like some bowls.
Yeah. And then if you're going to make something, how do you measure what you put in it?
We had a glass, the measuring glass. Just we take full of it and take a knife and do like and put it this how many grams we need that which we'll put in half dip it in the color.
Okay,
Or
so
bottle.
you use grams and milliliters, right? Grams and milliliters when you're measuring ingredients out for a recipe. All right, let's use ingredients in a sentence. Let's spell it first. INGREDIENTS. D as in dog, D, INGREDIENTS. Ingredients. Wow, let's figure out how many syllables ingredients have.
Ingredients for
Yes, very good. Ingredients. Now, because it has an S on it, it's plural. It means more than one, right?
ingredients.
Yes, ingredient would be one. Ingredients would be more than one. So let's write this sentence. Babushka mixed.
That is a name.
Well, I used that instead of saying grandma. Babushka mixed the ingredients
And I also have a sentence with it. I can say the story Babushka is the grandmother, and I want to keep that Babushka name in another noun.
Yes. Yes. Babushka mixed the ingredients for the chocolate thunder cake.
You know, at my mom, any day, my mom cooked me a cake. I will eat the plain cake, but my mother did not do frosting. I will eat because when she makes the dry fruits,
Okay. So you don't put, she doesn't put frosting on your cake?
No.
Yeah, that's just a lot of extra sugar. There's lots of sugar in frosting. We shouldn't eat so much sugar. Okay, so here's my sentence. Babushka mixed the ingredients for the chocolate thunder cake.
I called my friend Babushka. One day we had a thunderstorm, and my friend and me had mix the ingredients and make fun snacks. And we had tea. We
Very
had
good.
samples.
Yeah, that's a good sentence. Let's see. We talked about peck, P-E-C-K, and I think you know what peck is.
Pack our bag. Sometimes we can pack
Yeah.
the cow. We're cow.
So how did Grandma decide how far away the storm was?
Means that she counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When the storm was cried boom, that many kilometers if the storm is there. Is it?
Okay. In this measurement, though, we measured miles, so it would be just a little bit longer than a kilometer. I know you're used to talking in kilometers. We're used to talking in miles. So, but I think you could probably you could probably use that measurement. So when you see the lightning flash, then you start counting. And when you hear the thunder, you stop counting. And then that's how many miles away. So it would be just a little more in kilometers. So we'd have to do a conversion to make sure. But anyway, that's how you count to see how far away the storm is before it gets to you.
And today we got sentences of Corey.
You what?
Today we have sentences of Corey.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. We've got sentences. Go ahead and read your sentences from last time.
Does it not and count?
Did you write some sentences?
Yes, Corey. Only Corey.
Okay. Okay. So if you wrote a sentence with carving, go ahead and read it.
My father is a carpenter. He carved me nice wooden pencil box.
Yes, that's good. That's a very good sentence. Yeah, and we talked about chisel and trousers. You remember what trousers are?
Yeah, that's the thing we can. It's this pencil chisel and we can put it.
That's the chisel. What are trousers? Trousers.
It's like a hammer.
No, trousers are your pants. Remember the old man spilled some of his food on his trousers.
Yeah.
So it dripped into his lap and he got it on his pants, his jeans or his long pants. All right. Well, did you like the story of Thunder Cake?
Yes. It's so funny.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid of thunderstorms?
No, but I'm scared of darkness.
Lots of people are scared of darkness. Well, do you put a light? Do you sleep with a light on?
No. So if light is off, I get scared. Without light, I cannot. So there's still problems.
Yeah. Well, you'll get over that as you get older. You'll learn that there's nothing to be afraid of, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, that takes care of our time today. So next time, if you want to write any sentences, that would be great. You could write a sentence with ingredients or peck or samovar, or let's see, did we talk about any others? I think that was it. And you, if you want to, but you don't have to, but I would like you to practice because it's your turn to read next, okay?
Okay, and can you show me your windows? Because the house color is too dark. That's fine.
Yeah, it is dark. Well, I've got them covered with sheets right now, but the room isn't completely done. I have to get some blinds, like those blinds down there, to cover the windows. I don't have them yet, but I have to go buy them. My room is pretty dark. I've got a really dark color. Do you like it?
Yes. Yellow albums. That will be nice. Black and yellow combinations will be nice.
Black and yellow? No, I'm not much of a yellow person. I don't like yellow very well. But I mean, it's okay if you like it, but I'm just not a big yellow fan.
But I like yellow. And my mother, when we go here, we had a restaurant named Japanese. There, they put some food in. If you like something like with food, that color is black and yellow combination still.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty together. I agree. But I'm just not much on yellow. I like darker colors, like dark blue, brown, dark red, kind of an antique red, not a bright pinkish type red, but more dark red. I don't know. That's just the way I am.
I like dark blue.
I like dark blue too. Yeah. All right, Joanna, it's time for us to say goodbye today. So you need to practice the story that you're going to read to me on Friday.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll see you Friday. All right, you have a good evening and a good day in school tomorrow. I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye.